Head bowed, Prince Charles will lead the nation on Remembrance Sunday in commemorating Britain's war dead. In an RAF Marshal ceremonial uniform, he will lay the first wreath of red poppies at the foot of the Cenotaph Memorial in Whitehall. This is a significant moment in a developing royal journey. Fewer than 100 meters away, the Queen, now 91, will be keenly observing proceedings from the Foreign Office balcony. Her heir laying the nation's wreath as she watches is an historic image, the clearest sign to date that our monarchy is undergoing a subtle transition of power from the aging monarch to her eldest son. It is an emphatic nod to the future, with the Queen ensuring continuity at the end of her long reign. The ceremony will happen just hours after the prince's return from a hectic official tour of 4 Commonwealth countries: Singapore, Brunei, Malaysia and India. On this state visit in all but name, Charles, 68, accompanied by the Duchess of Cornwall, will have carried out more than 50 engagements in 10 days on behalf of his mother and her government. Together the couple will have crisscrossed Southeast Asia on a schedule that has taken them deep into the rainforest via helicopters and boats, and included banquets, speeches and small talk with the Sultan, presidents and prime ministers. This Commonwealth tour is all about deft diplomacy, cementing valued old ties, cultural and economic, with thriving nations ahead of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in London and Windsor next April, themed towards a common future. Queen Elizabeth II lays a wreath at the Cenotaph on Remembrance Sunday in London 2014. EPA Charles was asked to represent his mother as she no longer undertakes these grueling long-haul visits. Slowly, but assuredly, he is emerging from her shadow. He will not automatically inherit her role as head of this organization of 52 member states. That is a matter for the Commonwealth leaders, but his performance on this tour will certainly help his case. The Evening Standard flew out with the prince and his entourage on RAF Voyager, used by the Queen, Charles, and the Prime Minister on official business, and, from my ringside seat on the tour, it is obvious that he commands respect on the international stage. In Singapore, he got straight to work as soon as the plane touched down. On arrival, he shared a rare public kiss with Camilla as they were reunited. She had traveled earlier, spending a few days at a retreat in Bangalore. He went on to tell guests at a dinner at Singapore's presidential palace, the Istana, that the special importance of the Commonwealth had been a cornerstone in my life as, of course, it has been for Her Majesty. The Commonwealth is the Queen's passion, and perhaps will be her greatest legacy, but is deeply important to Charles too. Like her, he believes that the organization, which represents a third of the world's population, is a major force for good and for change. Over the past 7 decades, it has helped countries make economic progress and today champions the interests of smaller nations to strengthen their democracies. Charles acknowledges that to remain relevant in this changing world, the organization needs to change too. With 60% of its population under 30, it is particularly important that the Commonwealth addresses the challenges they face. Among these are weak global trade and investment flows, new cross-border security threats and the effects of climate change. Part of the message of the prince on this tour has been that member states must work together to ensure the organization has the institutional strength to face the future effectively. In Malaysia, where he was making his maiden visit, he made clear his view that the young people of the Commonwealth must be empowered to help them tackle this man-made perfect storm of problems. I do not feel that it is realistic or fair for us simply just to pass our problems to the next generation in the hope that they will resolve them, he told a gala dinner in Kuala Lumpur. The royal tour will also be a powerful catalyst for business. The prince is at the heart of the subtle shift of emphasis in government strategy and using the royal brand. Despite the economic benefits these foreign forays generate, they are not trade missions. That would be to demean the role of the heir to the throne. Charles' presence in this region will, however, help to smooth the way for politicians and businessmen. Hardened Republicans have a somewhat distorted view of the role of the constitutional monarchy. Critics point to Charles' so-called Black Spider memos, written to ministers on topics such as the environment, and believe he expects to routinely meddle in politics. They insist any king or queen must not be political. It is true that the overwhelming majority of prerogative powers are devolved to the Queen's ministers, but the monarch can wield power in the event of a grave constitutional crisis. Then, the sovereign can act contrary to or without ministerial advice. The prince, the longest-serving heir to the throne in the history of the monarchy, already reads the red boxes like his mother and has regular meetings with ambassadors. For the past few years, the palace and politicians have been working to secure a smooth succession to the reign of Charles III. After a lifetime of service, few could be better placed than the prince to understand the necessary and proper limitations he will face as king.